They that know their God shall do exploit. We serve a God who delights in the prosperity and celebration of his people. One of what characterizes our Christian life and walk with God is that there is an assurance of daily and steady celebration. He hasn't called you to a life of mourning, trial, and wars, but that you may have life and enjoy it abundantly. He wants you to remain in perpetual joy till it overflows. Do you see that? The life Jesus lived on earth is a replica of the kind of life God wants for us. He kept walking down everywhere, celebrating and rejoicing with people. He was the reason for joy and celebration for many, and they were also his reason for living and joy. It is your celebration that moves God to do more. See, appreciation and celebration is an application for more. When you have a worker who is always moody, looking dejected and sorrowful, you get tired of such a worker and tend to avoid the worker. But the one that is always happy, joyful, and cheerful, you want to get close. You want to know the reason and would always want to be around such a person. This is the kind of life God has promised for us. And when we maintain this posture, it would be a life of constant win and celebration for us. See, issues of life would never end. But at each point, thank and celebrate that the one he has done, and when he sees that, he opens the next door. And when you thank and celebrate, it's another open door coming. Why did God say he loved David, and David was a man after his own heart? It was because of the attitude of David. Jesus was always in thanksgiving and celebration and whatever happens and whatever God does. He was the author of the book of Psalms, which is a book of thanksgiving and celebration. What did God do for David? He was always winning battles, even when enemies chased him, and he still won and never ceased to thank God. And as he thanked and celebrated each victory and art of God, there were more wins for him. Appreciation and celebration is the requirement for more. God inhabits the praises and celebration of his people. God is attracted to praise and celebration. You don't have control over everything in life, but God knows all that concerns you, and his plans for you are for good and not for evil, to give you a future and hope. What do you then do? Celebrate and appreciate him at every point in time and for every happening. As you celebrate and rejoice, you would never lack reasons to keep celebrating. Like Paul and Silas, you invite God for rescue when you celebrate him. As God delivered the children of Israel from Egypt and the Red Sea, they celebrated. As they were celebrating, food was provided from heaven. And as they were celebrating the manna from heaven, meat came from heaven. It was a celebration something, and that is what you get from God. God cannot reject a man of integrity, nor will he make the enemy rejoice over you. He would fill your mouth with laughter and cause you to celebrate always. You are set for constant joy. The sound of joy and rejoicing would not depart from your household. It is his promise for you, and you would see it always. And as you keep celebrating and rejoicing, more doors and reasons to celebrate and rejoice would continue to open. He would make known the path of life to you, fill you with joy, and at his right hand are pleasures forevermore. Rejoice and celebrate. There's no time you call on God that he would not answer you. The timing might just differ because God waits for the right time for him to bless you. Calling on God is a sign that you are a true believer. You involve God in all you do, and God will always answer you. God has heard your cry, and he will answer all your prayers. Putting your trust in God is very important, as it takes away your burden. When you trust in God, every other thing will surely fall in place. Sometimes God uses difficult situations to test you, and you fail the test. It is not like the problems are above his power, that he cannot solve them, but he just decided to use these situations to test you. God is perfect, and He is aware of what He is doing always. Sometimes you have no idea He is fixing the situation already. Be relaxed and hand over everything to Him. Most times, God does not just fix the problems, He would fix you to be in your right frame of mind, to be able to face your problems yourself. God has a way of making you feel superior over your problems. Life will always throw different situations to you to find your way out of. Your situations will definitely affect you. It might defeat you, or it may develop you. The outcome of these problems depends on how you respond to the problems at that particular time. It is so sad that most people do not see how God wants to use these situations to better their lives. They react foolishly and resent their problems rather than pausing to consider what benefit they might bring. These situations might just be there to build them, and if they are patient enough, God will see them through. Keep praying to God and He would surely fix you. God's goal is to fix you as a person and not only to fix your problems. If all God did was fix your problems, then all you would do is create more problems, because you would still have the same weaknesses and immaturity that led you into the decisions and choices that caused the majority of your problems in the first place. His goal is to transform you and your character into a righteous person who will love and obey Him. Sometimes God will use your problems to help you grow up. God's goals for humanity are different from our own. Everything you have been praying for will surely come to pass sooner or later. God is working on a plan in your life, and when God is done, you would be blessed abundantly. God will never leave His followers in the dark. He has a plan for you, and there is a will to be fulfilled. There is a goal to be achieved, and there is also your destiny that must come to pass in your life. Every disappointment is a blessing, and God is a master of turning disappointments into blessings. God has everything in His control, and He would surely make a way for you. He would defeat all your enemies and remove every roadblock you have on your way to success. The best thing for you to do is just to surrender to God. Humble yourself before God, and He would honor you. God will send abundant blessings and grace your way. Have a conversation with God always by praying to Him. He is your Father, and you are His child. God will bring you out of that dark place and bring you to the light. You would be blessed amongst your peers. Everything you ask from God, He has heard you. God will make a way where there is no way for you. Just pray to Him about all that is going on in your life. The best way to communicate with God is by praying and fasting. God does not forsake His followers. He just waits for the perfect time to send their blessings to them.